For Presto, there are several kinds of different articulation techniques. This is the third movement from the Sonata No. 6 in C minor by Pescetti. And he was an Italian composer and keyboard player who studied with Antonio Lotti at St. Mark's. He worked as a harpsichordist and an opera composer. So this was back in the period when they still had harpsichords and clavichords. And so there is a kind of non-legato touch in here. In the first part, we see that there is a rapid barely linked hammered touch, just like how you would use in the harpsichord period. You really have to curve your fingers, make sure that they are strong against the key, and then they can play with it's kind of a hammered touch. So touch and go. When you strike, release that string, relax your wrist, and so that there is no key bedding. And when you go to soft, there's a diminuendo here. It's still a hammered touch even though it's not lifted as high. Right, and then back to loud. And you really want to make sure that those last chords you really have standing curved fingers. So work on how solid your fingers are in this Presto instead of doing exercises. I mean, you could create mini exercise for yourself. 1 bar plus 1 note, just to make sure that there is continuity. As well as the left hand, don't join any of those. It's not a staccato, it's also not legato. It's non-legato, which means portato, which means you detach the notes even though you hold them for the full value of a crotchet. You still have to shape them. So when you come to bar 9, the section is decidedly more legato in the left hand only. Back to the portato touch here when you see the diminuendo section. Then there's also a hammer touch in the forte section here. So if you have small hands like me and you do not want to move your hands, you could use 1, 5, 4, 4, because the 4th finger is still curved. That gives you some strength. Otherwise, if you want to make sure that you are prepared way ahead to play that last chord, you could also use 1, 3, 2, which gives you a very full and heavy and strong sound. Alright, now coming to bar 24, we have still a hammered touch passage. Take note that the right hand has a more tricky fingering, so instead of we have 2, 1, 2, 4, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2. So you really have to stretch that 3, 1, 2. Use your 4th here, it's on the A flat. And then you can go with 3, 5, 3, as written 5, 3 in your book, in bar 26, second and third notes. 5, 3, finger goes over, and then 2, 3, 4, 1. Repeat. Second finger here, importantly. 5, 3 again on A flat. 1, 3 on A flat. Right. In the left hand, you have 2, 1, 4. They written the next note as 2, 5, but if you have small hands like me and there's just no time to rush over to the second finger, feel free to also use your thumb, because the thumb is a strong finger anyway. Okay, no, it's still hammer touch, do not combine. So this is wrong and incorrect. You have to make sure you separate them. And repeat. 1, 5 here. Right. And in the next forte, we also still have the hammer touch action again. This is the same fingering as the first time. 2, 1, 2, 4, 3, 2. 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 2. 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Just like in bar 1. 2, 1, 2, 4, 3, 2. 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 2. 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. So no difficulties there. Yeah, and the left hand is also pretty simple. You still have your 1, 2, 4, 1, 5, 1, 5, and repeat. I think this is pretty simple, so we can skip ahead. Alright, so when we go to the next section, you see in bar 40, you have another forte there. So what happens here is, it's a more legato style, a cantabile singing style. So to vary your playing, link the sounds more in the legato segment. It's a little bit slower. You cannot really change the tempo, but it will definitely sound slower as you link the notes up. So use your wrist to help you achieve that soft sound. Just enough to help you get the legato. You don't have to do too much of it. That's too much. That would be considered to be under the Romantic period. But this one, maybe neoclassical, since we're in the Baroque period. So it's not really classical, but it sounds somewhat like it. And then the left hand is playing just the same legato section. Okay, once more. From bars 40 to 48, it is playing a very regular rhythm, 2 crotchets per bar, and also it is having a little bit of a rocking or a lilt motion. Right, so it's still giving a very rounded, a very warm legato sound. And remember, you have to blend that second note into the first, just like imagine you're keeping stationery in a pencil case. So I always tell my students, pen in case, pen in case. This is like a bass and the tenor singing together. You have to hear the mi, fa, re, do, re, ti, do, as well as the tenor part, which is just singing do, do, ti, ti, la, la, so, so, do. It ends on C. Right. And in bar 48 to 49 onwards, we see that it is linked, but there is more pressure on the forearm. So it gives it more of a pressure, a little bit of a heavier sound. Right, bar 53, you have a trill there. It has actually been written out for all of us in the ABRSM book, so if you have not purchased one, please go and get one. It has your Mi. Once it hits that G, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it goes to principal note above, principal below, and principal note again. And let's repeat that. So you start with the E flat, prince up, prince down, prince back to Do. Okay, it's the same for the other trill below as well, but you're starting on the C in bar 60. The left hand is doing E flat to D, the right hand is doing C, prince up, prince down, prince, C. Once more, C, prince up, prince down, principal, C. So when I say prince, it's just short for principal, just keep it simple. Right, so the whole thing sounds somewhat like this. Right, and then back to the hammered touch here. Even here, it's a hammered touch sound. And then more of a forearm sound again, even though it's light. And then back to the hammered touch once more in the forte. And then this part, please take it out and learn it separately because it is a bit tricky. There's a bit of coordination between the left and the right hand. Bar 68, second dotted crotchet, we have Do, Mi, Do, followed by left hand So, right hand Do, So, left hand Mi, right hand So, Mi, left hand Do. So it sounds like that. Right, 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 left, right, right, left, right, right, left. Repeat. Right, 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 left, then we end with a 1. Do not do this. Don't want your wrist to stay up, even though you mistakenly think that this gives us power. Make sure you keep that wrist natural and straight, and you can really push into the piano keys. And release. Well, a strong ending. There we go.